Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 17 over-unders to bet. Listen, it was a great Christmas, but let's focus on Week 17. We have to get to business. We have to get this money. Christmas was a big day, like I said, but compose yourselves. Let's get to Week 17. First game, we got the Los Angeles Chargers at the New England Patriots. Over, under, 42.5. I'm going over. Listen, I get it. This game, the fundamentals say you go the under. You have a Patriots defense that when they want to show up, they do look pretty good. You have a Chargers offense that is extremely limited when we look at explosion. Outside of McConkey, can anyone catch a ball? Does anyone want to catch a ball? Outside of him, does anyone on the outside create space? Do we trust Gus Edwards to get going? I know the Patriots have been bad against the run this year, but I do think they stopped the Chargers' run game. But I'm going over because these two quarterbacks are absolute tour de forces. Drake May's making plays out of nothing. The Patriots haven't blocked anyone the whole year. Does it really matter with Drake May? Not really, because he's breaking tackles and avoiding sacks, and he's somehow getting the ball and throwing dimes to a receiving core that is absolutely despicable to put around a young guy. Speaking of despicable, Herbert's doing this with despicable options, man. I don't know what the Chargers were thinking going into this year. I'm going over the 42. Obviously, I have no damn science. Next game, we got the Denver Broncos at the Cincinnati Bengals. Over, under, 49.5. Money, money, money. Money. Make it a money pick over the 49.5. I absolutely love this one. And it seems like every week the thumbnail hits. Jamar Chase is the thumbnail. Miami was last week. And this is the best over-under. If you walk away from this video with something, this is the over-under you probably want on your ticket. You guys know I don't like the parlays, but if you have to put this on a ticket, I think it's a good option. Now let's get into it. Listen, you have a Broncos defense it's pretty good, man. But like I've been saying all year, there's no elite defense in the league, and no one's really given me any substantial pushback on that. And you saw what Herbert did to him. If you have good quarterback play and good receiver play, it's just going to completely bash these defenses. There's no Jets like last year. The Jets defense was elite. Just to give an example, last year, not this year, obviously. So I think Joe Burrow is an absolute train right now, and I know Denver's got a good pass rush. I know Vance Joseph has masterminded this defense, and we know the Broncos are going to hit Burrow a lot, but teams hit him every week. Has it really stopped this offense? Has it really caught the Bengals off guard? Not really. Zach Taylor's just let Joe Burrow get killed, but Burrow will keep delivering and keep slanging. I think these Bengals targets create a lot of separation and they get going. On the other side of the ball, listen, I know this Broncos offense is limited. They can't really run the ball. They're giving up a ton of quick pressures. Bo Nix, while he's been playing good, while he's getting better every snap, still is a limited quarterback. And outside of Cortland Sutton, who are you going to count on? Mims, Lil Jordan Humphrey, the tight ends are trash. But this is more about the Bengals defense just being absolutely terrible, and they can't tackle, they can't cover. They are decent against the run, but that's not going to help in this game. Broncos are going to throw it. Sean Payton against this Bengals defense is a matchup that pushes this over. And I know it's late. I know we're getting to week 17 of the year. That's normally when the games start going under. But I just think this game turns into a shootout, and I absolutely love this over the 49.5. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the New York Giants. Over, under 40 and a half. I'm going under, but both of these defenses stink. And the Giants' defense, the front seven, listen, even when they had Dexter Lawrence, they can't stop the run. And I think the Colts run the ball for 150, 200 yards in this game, but they've done that in other weeks. And how did it work out for the offense? And that's why I'm going under. I also worry about the Giants' quarterback situation. I think this game is closer than the books think. The books think the Colts are going to win this in a laugher. And I get it. Anthony Richardson can be great running the ball. He makes a deep pass every 4 games where you're like, oh, well, that's awesome. But honestly, he's a terrible quarterback, and he's one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks in an era where it's the easiest to be accurate. I'm going under the 40 and a half. You should not be betting this either way. You should be betting the spread of this game, though. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals at the Los Angeles Rams. Over, under 48. I'm going with a surprise under. And listen, there's a lot of talk about Kyler Murray. James Conner's probably going to I believe James Conner's going to miss this game, and that's obviously going to hurt the Cardinals' offense. That's a big reason why I'm going under. I absolutely love this Rams front. The secondary has its issues, but they got a bunch of young guys who are getting better by the minute. Linebacking core is really weak, but I don't know if Arizona's going to exploit that. But I'm looking at this game, man, and I just think this Cardinals defense has to respond. They're not playing for a playoff spot, but they're the reason why this season unraveled. You can blame Kyler Murray, and obviously he deserves some of it. John Gannon deserves zero blame here, but this defense needs to step up. I think they have a good game, and also the Rams are a really frustrating offense. They've been underachieving all year, even when they've had all those dogs healthy, Caught, Nakua, Williams, Stafford, offensive line. Even when everyone's been healthy, they've been quite disappointing. I'm going under the 48. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders. O'Connell at the New Orleans Saints. Over, under 37 and a half. I'm going over. You worry about the Saints quarterback situation. You worry about that matchup against a Raiders defense that, listen, they don't have the best talent in the world, but I actually think they're pretty decent. And they're gonna play with effort. They're gonna play with force, and that's what you need out of the defense. But I'm going over because every single time the Raiders get a win, it just feels like they lay an egg the week after, and it's absolutely insane, and I don't know how to wrap my head around it. Like, I kind of wanted to bet the Raiders last week, and I want to bet them this week, but I can't bet them this week because we know they're going to have a little bit of a letdown. But also a big reason why I'm going over, I kind of like this matchup for Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell played well against the Jags, and he's played well when he's had his opportunities this year. You just wonder, why did Minshew get the starting nod? And it makes me question Antonio Pierce. And when Aiden O'Connell's in here, it just feels like the offense has more flow. It feels like there's more stuff going down the field. And this is a Saints defense that can't get pressure. And we know Aiden O'Connell's biggest problem is he holds on to the ball so fucking long. That's his biggest issue. If he fixes that, he's going to be a good swing quarterback, not quite a starter, but a good number 2 in this league that can come in and start and win some games for you. He holds the ball too long, but that's not an issue in this game against the Saints. They can't get pressure. They can't really cover anyone. I'm going over the 37.5. If the Saints offense was a little bit better, this would be an over money pick. Next game, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jags. Over, under 39.5. I'm going over. Man, there's just no science. You just don't know what Tennessee team's going to show up. I kind of know what I'm going to see out of the Jags. We're going to see pretty good defense. And I think Mac Jones has been playing better than people think. Someone told me, like, Mac Jones is so bad. Like, man, he really wasn't that bad the last 3 weeks. And he's not great. He's obviously a backup in this league. I'm going over. I just don't want to fucking talk about the Titans. Like, I'm so sick of Callahan getting a free ride. Like, everyone wants to talk about Antonio Pierce. Everyone wants to talk about Dayball. But if one man deserves to lose his job, it's Callahan, and no one's talking about it because no one cares about the Titans. Next game, we got the New York Jets at the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen over under 46.5. Money, money, money. Money, borderline. Let's not calm down now. The Jets offense was actually really good last week. They didn't punt the ball the whole game. How many points did they finish with? 6? It's the first time I've ever seen an offense move the ball every single drive and not punt in the game and finish with 6, 9, 12 points. I've never quite seen that in my life. That's why this is a borderline money pick. But this is a great matchup for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets offense. This Bills defense is vulnerable. I don't think there's any switch, like light switch brain that they can churn on and the defense churns it on in the playoffs like we've seen the Chiefs offense do the last 2 weeks. Like, I don't think that switch is available. We certainly didn't see that switch kick into gear after they gave up the 80 points in 2 games against the Patriots. Drake May kind of whip work against them. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to do the same. And with all the vitriol we get from, like, Shannon Sharp and people like that, Aaron Rodgers has been really good the last 4 weeks. And that's a big reason why this is a borderline over money pick. And I said all that before I talk about Josh Allen, an absolute juggernaut. He's having the perfect season. He's not turning it over. He's running the ball more. He's throwing with accuracy. He's getting the ball down the field. He's making the smart decisions. And I just feel like this Bills offense is an unstoppable force. And did I mention the Jets defense fucking sucks? I'm going over the 46.5. Make it a borderline money pick. Like I said, the Jets put up a ton of yards last week, okay? Didn't punt. Yeah, you saw how many points they finished with. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Tampa Bay Bucks. Over, under 48.5. I'm going over. It's not as confident. I think we hit the 46.5 as a money pick the first time these teams played in Carolina. Now we're going to South Florida. Well, whatever, West Florida, but it's pretty much South Florida. And you got a Panthers defense that can't stop the run. Actually, make it a money pick. This is a money pick. I think Carolina does enough on offense to be a dance partner here. And I'm really worried about this Buccaneers defense. I've been worried about them the whole year. But I thought they were figuring some things out in the secondary. But, like, just for instance, this linebacking core is always in man-to-man coverage, and they always get burnt. And Bryce Young, Thielen, Chuba Hubbard in that area have been dangerous, and I think that's a big factor. I do think Bryce Young scrambling is also a big factor. I know the Cowboys game was fucking terrible, but Bryce Young has had actually a pretty decent finish to this year. We have to give him credit, as crazy as that sounds. And I do think this Buccaneers offense steps back up to the plate. It wasn't a good game against Dallas. But you know what? The front seven of the Panthers isn't going to get pressure on you no matter how good Clowney plays. They're not going to stop your run. And the Panthers are also a poorly coached team on defense. I'm going over the 48.5. Make it a money pick. That's why I need to get on here and discuss it with you guys. It just was a clear money pick to me. You do clench up a little bit when it gets to week 17 and week 18 with the variance we will see, but I'm going over the 48.5. Next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys, them boys, at the Philadelphia Eagles. Over, under 39.5. Over, but I don't know if Hurts is playing. I saw they signed the guy who played quarterback for Notre Dame last year, Ian Brook, I believe his name is. We don't know if Pickett's going to play, if Hurts is hurt. I just don't know. And I don't know if I would risk Hurts even with a concussion in this game. I just don't think it's worth it for the Eagles. And we can look at the playoff standings and all that good stuff. Like I said, I just don't think it's worth it. The Eagles have been a very good road team this year. I'm going over the 39.5. I don't have any fucking science. We just can't engage in this game until we know who the quarterback is. Sorry about that. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Cleveland Browns. Over, under 39.5. Money, money, money. Money, listen. The money pick isn't on the 39.5. That's why I had to get the phone out. I'm on Bet365 right now. So I have a 2-team parlay. Miami Dolphins team points over 19.5. The Browns team points under 19.5. You put those together, that's a plus 110 bet. I will repeat. Dolphins over 19.5. And you parlay that with the Browns under 19.5. If you want to just play one side, which is always smart, go over the 23.5 team total for the Dolphins. Listen, the Browns defense has been bad this whole year, and it's easy to pick on Stefanski. It's easy to pick on Deshaun Watson. It's easy to pick on the offensive line. It's easy to pick on Jameis Winston throwing pick sixes, but no one's really doing that because we love famous Jameis. But this is about DTR being bad, and that's why I love the under team total for the Browns. I don't really know what to do with the 39.5. I just don't know what we're going to see from the Browns on offense. It was really bad against the Bengals, and we know the Dolphins' defense is at least league average. But I love the team total for the Dolphins because, like I said, I just listed a litany of problems for the Browns. But this defense has been pathetic this year. They play a lot of man-to-man. They can't cover anyone. You have Myles Garrett, yet they're not really getting consistent pressure. And like I said, the main issue with the Browns this year has been the secondary. Even Denzel Ward has been getting burnt in coverage this whole year. I'm going over the Dolphins team total, 23.5 points. But like I said, there's a parlay. You can do that safer. 2 options. It's a plus 110 bet. Next game, we got the Green Bay Packers at my Minnesota Vikings. Over, under 48.5. Money, money, money. Money, borderline, under. I get it, you want to go over. Packers offense has been playing really good the last 4 weeks. Vikings offense has been playing really good the last 4 weeks. I get it. Dome Stadium. Love against Darnold. I get it. O'Connell versus LaFleur. I get it. It's a great over in your head. But I'm going under. And listen, normally when we talk about Sam Darnold, we worry about when he gets pressure. He's a bottom 5 quarterback in this league under pressure. When he's protected, he's actually been a top 5 quarterback this year. As crazy as it sounds. And we know Green Bay can't get pressure. But I do think this is going to be a playoff type scenario. I do think there's going to be a little bit of nerves involved in this game. But the main reason for the under is because I have questions about this Packers offense. I haven't been sold on Jordan Love this whole year. Wasn't sold on him last year, and I'm still not sold on him right now as we talk Week 17, December 26. Now, here's why. If you watch Packers games, you'll understand what I'm saying. I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. In my mathematical memory, probably 85 to 90% of their drives, their scoring drives, their good drives, are when it's Josh Jacobs dominant. When Josh Jacobs is running the ball, getting between 35 and 50 yards in one drive. The drives where Josh Jacobs is limited out of the game or the team stops Josh Jacobs, we've seen a lot of Jordan Love turnovers and we haven't seen a lot of points. What does the Vikings defense do best? You're probably going to say blitz. I don't know about that. I think the Vikings defense is at their best when teams are trying to run the ball against them. They're a top 5 run unit in the league. So I think this is going to be about Jordan Love beating them. They're going to make Jordan Love beat them. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going under the 48.5, borderline money pick. These are two very good offenses. Even with all that being said, that's why the under is a borderline. Next game, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the Washington No Names. Over under 47.5. I'm going under. And I know this points towards over, kind of like the Packers-Vikings game. But I think the Commanders are going to control the clock here. I also think the Falcons do something similar. I think both run defenses have had their issues this year. Obviously, both defenses have had their problems this year. But I also feel like both defenses are trending in the right direction. And I'm not using like the Commanders' defensive performance against the Saints as an example. I'm not using the Falcons' defensive performance against fucking Drew Lock or the Giants' offense as an example. But I do feel like the last 4 weeks, both are trending in the right direction. That's why I'm going under. I also think we see a lot of Jaden Daniels running the ball. And obviously, this is Penix's first road game. On Patreon, we bet the Falcons because they were at home. Rookie quarterback on the road making the first start, man, that's fucking tough. It's a tough spot with the season on the line. I'm going under the 47.5. Next game, Monday Night Football. I'm going to do a separate video on this one. Lions at 49ers, 50.5. I'm going over, but I'm going to do a separate video on this game Friday morning. I promised I would engage with this game more, and I think there's some good bets for us here. I'm going over the 50.5. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet. Let's get this money.